And welcome back to 90s Noise. This is Ashley, born 1988.
I'm April, born 1991.
We are back! Woo! Did you miss us?
Season 2, baby. We're
Season
here.
2. Woohoo!
Yep.
Yay! We survived 2023 so far.
We
Right?
haven't gotten that far into it, so
I know, but
I
you know what?
hope.
I feel like a lot has happened, and it felt like January went on forever. So I'm happy we made it this far. And we've also been able to see each other so far this year, which I think is
That's
a
putting it
major
a lot.
achievement.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a major achievement to start off first month with getting to see each other, and hopefully
Hmm.
we'll make it at least every other month at the least this year. So,
Yes, yes. So we've already got plans for April, so I am
yeah. Oh,
excited about that.
who knows with all these conventions coming up and everything, I'm sure, going to be a few more added trips there.
Very true, very true. Yes, I agree. But definitely on our next outing, we have to go to One Up together because I know we've both been
Yes.
separately, but like we need to go together. Like that place
Oh
is
my gosh.
so freaking cool.
I loved it. Now I'm just trying the my only qualm I guess with it is there's not as many games as
Right.
its predecessors,
Hmm.
joysticks. But I mean, I'm sure since they did put it into a new location and everything, that they some of those games probably didn't travel very well or anything like that. But that was my one complaint, even though I didn't even play any of the games.
I was gonna ask, did you even play any of the games?
I so we had started brunch at noon, and I think we were at brunch for like 2 hours, and it was bottomless mimosas, so that's always
Woohoo.
a fun time. By the time we got there, wasn't really focused on games. Just kind of all the
Mm,
atmosphere of it, but loved,
right.
loved, loved it.
There's so much to look at and see, and like we were just finding all sorts of little hidden things the longer we were sitting there. So yeah, I definitely could see myself going back there frequently. We played some games, and I'd still like to try out some more of the stuff that they have there. So I don't know, it's just like a cool place you could just hang out on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I definitely would want to do earlier in the day just because I'm old and the crazy
Yeah.
crowds I don't care for necessarily. Uh,
No.
Definitely want to go back. They have some great drinks and
Mm-hmm.
great vibes. They're just all around a fun nostalgia place to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And they would definitely need more of them around. I mean, I know like more than two in an area is not going to survive, so you'd have to be limited on that. But I do think that they are, if they're made well enough, like they're going to bring in a good crowd all the time.
Yeah, and from what I've seen from their Instagrams and everything, they have a pretty steady crowd most
Mm-hmm.
evenings and nights. It's just some of us prefer day drinking instead of night drinking, so we can actually have time to clear some of that from our system before going to bed so we don't have a hangover the next day.
Heck yeah, I agree. Yeah, I enjoy a good day drinking.
Absolutely. Me too. All right. So, this first episode for season 2, we are jumping in to the music of
Hmm.
1992.
I feel like we always jump into the music like super quickly once we get into a year. I feel like it's been because the music has been a little harder to get into these first couple of years. You know, there are a few good hidden like hits throughout, but I do feel like this is the first year where I'm seeing a couple more songs and the styles are kind of changing a little bit more into the direction that I know I was listening to that. But yeah, I don't know. That was just a random thought about how we always put this one kind of first. And I don't know if it's because of that reason or if it's just how it works, but
I think kind of a mixture. It's how it works. We come off of watching a lot, and so it kind of also
hmm
gives us, I mean, we watch the
mm.
music videos, but it gives us a little bit of a break. Those music videos are 4 minutes long max.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's not having to sit for anywhere between half an hour to 2.5 hours to watch
hmm
something. So I think that's also kind of helps us give a little bit of a nice break for it. But I think now, starting with 92, we're going to get into a few other things that aren't watching, like show watching related.
hmm Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Who wants to jump in first?
Well, since you kind of already gave me my cue. So, one of the biggest, one song, because it is always also hard for music to know, okay, did it just get popular in this specific year? Did it actually
Mm.
come out? When I was just looking at the Billboard year-end charts, I once I picked my song, I was like, okay, was this an earlier song and it just got popular? Or did
hmm
it truly come out in 92? And it did. But that song is Jump by House of Pain. So,
Jump, jump,
Ashley, when you, or I guess
jump
it's
around.
technically Jump Around is the full
I was
title.
about to say,
Sorry
wait,
about
because
that.
now I just mixed up. There's another song called Jump that came out the same year, and then Jump Around. They both kind of have like a similar vibe. So
Yeah, it's
very similar.
it's
It's like,
been it's been one of those days where it's like, okay, I'm shortening everything because I'm just trying to move along here, right? I was doing that at work today too. Only saying half of things and then
oh,
getting
nice.
myself confused. So, yes, sorry. Jump Around by House of Pain. So, that song, I vaguely remember even hearing it like in car rides from probably not 92 since I was a year old, but a couple years later and everything, it was still getting playtime. What did you think of the music video? Did you get a chance to
The
watch
music
it?
video is, yeah, it's very interesting. Like, not what I would have envisioned this song to be representing. Like, I they're at a St. Patrick's marching band parade with like a marching band. And I was like, okay, so are they? At first, I was like, is this an Ireland or is this an Irish band? Like, I was curious, like, okay, maybe they're representing their culture or whatever, like the
Hmm.
Irish, Scottish, and but no, it was just a St. Patrick's Day parade. But I don't know, it still just is a very weird. And then I went to the rapper guy in the club and they had all the people around and stuff. So it was very different directions.
Very much so. It kind of almost was like somebody was just, oh, let's film this. Oh, it's St. Patty's Day. Let's do this. Uh, let's add this into it. And just, I don't know. I guess it's still, I think, kind of a fun video,
I think, yeah, it's a
personally.
very fun video. And it that song reminds me of Mrs. Doubtfire. Do you remember that scene in Mrs. Doubtfire where you have Robin Williams and his kids? They're throwing that kids party at the house, and the wife comes home and they're on the piano like dancing to the song. That's what I remember most from this.
No, honestly, I remember most probably skating rinks, hearing it at a
Yeah, I
skate
could see it
rink.
as being a skate song. Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
that was always a song that you'd go up and to request, and you'd always see somebody had already written it down. And then also, of course, school dances. Once you got to that
Mm.
age with school dances, it didn't matter whether it was like a supposed to be a 90s themed dance or what, this song almost guaranteed was always playing.
And everyone's always jumping around.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
can't
they're jumping around.
I can't do that anymore. I think
No.
I don't remember what was doing, but wherever I was, this was probably within the last 5 or 7 years, this song came up and I think like the DJ or everyone was like, jump, jump, jump around. And I'm just like, this is all you're getting. It's like, I can't do that constant jumping anymore.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But I
Yeah.
feel like they play that song. I don't think I would know because I don't watch. This is like a song that they play at sporting events, right?
Honestly, this is something that I've heard all over. Sporting
Mm,
events, just out and about, clubs, like different things like that. It's always just one of those songs that, because of, I think, the high energy it brings with it, that's probably part of the reason it's so commonly used at sporting events, or clubs love throwing it in there. Their mixes, DJs love that. So, because it's
hmm.
hard to just sit still with that song.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of how a lot of the songs though were from 92 that at least that I found. They were very like get up and dance type songs. Like the one I sent you for that one, Snap, Rhythm of a Dancer. What did you think of that music video though?
Okay, we have listened to another, we did watch another Snap one earlier on, right?
Oh yes. Yes, we
Okay,
did.
so I that's what I thought, because I definitely saw some similarities. I think it was just just like the cinematic similarities of how they
Mm,
were doing. But what was it? There was one part that I was just kind of was like, what? Completely forgot about that in this song. I think for me, I always remember the chorus,
right.
and I forgot some of the verses. And so, like when the guy comes up, like when showing the guy
Yes.
and everything, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that
I was the same
was
way. I'm
not
like,
in my
oh,
brain.
yeah, interesting choice. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I did not remember that part, but
me neither.
I think he was the same guy that sang on the song that we talked about from 1990, The Power. He's the
Yeah,
same guy, but as a different female vocalist.
it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it was different.
Why did they change? Do you know?
I read something, I think the first person had left, and so this one came, but then I think after she recorded this, she left. I don't know.
Uh,
It seemed like they
it
went through a
sounds
couple different ones.
yeah, it sounds like that the singer like spot is cursed or something.
I mean, they always produce good hits though, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like it kind of allows, I think it almost allows the vocalist to then go on and want to do like their own solo type career. You know, when you're within a
Yeah.
group like that, sometimes you don't recognize your talent until now they have a huge hit and they're like, "Oh, wait, maybe I can go do it on my own." And I think that's what happened, at least with one of them. They went on to do like try to do like a solo career. So,
I mean, hey,
but
at least with a solo, I mean, solo career, good and bad, because
mm-hmm.
you're not having to, I guess, compromise necessarily with other people, vocally or musically. But I think it could also just, it's just kind of seems a little lonely as a solo career, personally.
Yeah, I agree. I think it might be fun to do like for an album, but then kind of keep on going back to that core group for doing everything else. Kind of like the Jonas Brothers have done.
Yeah, I do see a lot of people do end up going that solo route, but a lot of them end up coming back together.
Very true. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it is that group mix that truly catches the listener, and sometimes when they try
Mm-hmm.
to do a little too extravagant solo careers, yeah.
And I think if you start out as a group, you typically always go back to the group, no matter how much you try to do your own thing. I did
Yeah.
kind of think it was cool in that video that they were actually at Kennedy Space Center though, filming that, which I thought it was just all kind of like created on like with
Yeah.
the background stuff, but no, they were actually there filming.
Nice. That is pretty sweet for sure.
Yeah.
What, you got anything else on that one? And we'll kind of go into some of the other top
No.
hits from 92.
Yeah, I got a couple more. You got a
All right.
couple of good ones. We'll see
I do.
who's got the better picks.
All right. All right. All right. All right. So, I'm gonna bring out the big guns for this
Uh-oh.
first one that had. Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna do that one.
For any of those youngins out there listening, that is the intro, part of the intro for Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot, which was at the year-end Billboard. It was number 2 for 1992.
That's
Number
pretty
2.
impressive.
I'm not gonna lie, it really is. But that is
Especially
just...
for that song's topic, that.
Yeah. But, I don't think I've truly heard that song in full in probably 6-7 years, but I could still recite the whole damn thing by memory.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I can too. But yeah, I mean, it's a classic though. Like,
It
I
really
know I was
is.
listening to that as a young kid. Like, that
When you
song
shouldn't
is
have
still
been.
kind of one of those, right? Exactly. Like, wait, why was I actually listening to that though? But it would come on and can't help but to listen to it.
No, you can't. And then when they did for jumping a little bit into early 2000s, when they took the first part of it and put it into the ending for Shrek.
Yeah, I remember that.
I just remember watching, the first time I even watched Shrek was like a school event, and everybody just starts breaking out into that song, and it cuts off at a certain point, and all the teachers were just kind of like,
oh, no.
exactly, because they knew what part was coming up. That song, God, such a classic. Such a classic for any school dance. You were always going up to the DJ begging them to play it. I mean, hell, I remember we were begging the freaking DJ at the skate rinks to play it. But he wouldn't, because that was not a part of the approved list.
Wasn't approved? Oh, geez. That's hilarious. I think that song is just always going to be kind of in its own lane as far as that goes.
Absolutely. And the music video for it. Have you ever seen the music video?
I know I've seen it. I have not watched it anytime recently. What's it like?
Oh, well, I mean, like, for the majority of it, he's dancing on a freaking ass.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
I mean, I
hey,
wouldn't expect anything less, but
yeah, but like, I mean, you gotta actually admire the creativity for the whole concept. Because some people like will sing about something and then their music videos nothing to do with it. Composition for that was really well done.
yeah, I mean, not a hard topic to shoot for, but
No, not at all. All right, so what about you? What was one of yours?
okay. So, do you remember the song "Get Ready for This" by Two Unlimited? Y'all ready for this?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
So
Now that I know for sure is a sporting event song.
yes, that definitely. I feel like they also use that probably like Space Jam, I think. The movie Space Jam.
Oh yeah, I think they might have. But the movie that I remember it from is Bring It On. I know you have.
Yes. Oh, well,
I
of
know you've
course.
seen that and heard that.
Yes, it took me a second to remember where it was in that. Yeah, because when I think of Bring It On, I think of the opening scene, and then the ending credits when they're lip syncing to
Oh, the
the
Mickey
"Oh,
song?
Mickey, you're so fine."
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like the two biggest parts that stand out too. But yeah, now that you said that, yeah, I do remember where that is in it. There's actually a lot of these like kind of early age club techno type songs. I guess it's kind of because that's kind
Oh,
of
yeah,
how
yeah, yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
they are, with a lot more of like the synths and everything being used.
Yeah.
So
Getting into that techno-y years.
yeah. All right. We're gonna do a little quick turn, and this next one, I know you know the song, whether you want to admit it or not, but
Okay.
we love his daughter. Can't wait for her to go on tour, at least announce tour dates since she's got a new album coming out. But Billy Ray Cyrus, Achy Breaky Heart.
Okay, now you gotta stop. Now you're just taking my whole list. I was not expecting you to pull that one out, like, at all.
So that was the top 100. That was number 15 for the year. I don't know why, but I thought that was from the 80s for some
Oh,
reason.
really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I didn't.
No.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
I remember listening to this song with my dad, and I
same
know we had
here.
the cassette tape of it, and it just, I actually re-listened to it today because I was like, let me get a feel of what this song was, because I honestly don't think I've listened to it since the 90s. And it's definitely not something I listen to anymore. And I don't think it's that great now, but I understand how it was such a huge cult classic almost, I guess, in that genre. And it
Yeah.
started this huge thing, this huge craze of people line dancing. Like line dancing became
Yes.
super popular, and it was like because of the song.
Really. I mean, it does have that feel to it and everything. I don't think I've listened to it in its entirety, probably, yeah, since the 90s. But just watching some of the different like VH1 things or whatever documentaries on especially like Miley, they always
Hmm.
of course bring up Billy Ray, and they always like do a little clip of his the music video for it and his mullet and
Hmm.
all of that. It's just good gracious. Like I said though, I did not remember that being an early 90s song. I thought that was a much later song or earlier song.
Hmm.
It just was getting like a
Yeah.
second run or something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I don't know. There's not much to say on it. Does he really have like anything big that does he still sing now? Like,
I don't know if he does now. I know he had a new album released during the Hannah Montana phase for Miley.
mm,
And I had gotten that album because it had. Did you ever watch Hannah Montana?
yeah.
So there's the one song that he sings for her in a specific episode, the Ready, Set, Don't Go.
Mm.
And I just love that song. Absolutely love that song. And that album had it. When he had released it, had that on there. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get it for that. Because I wasn't gonna give my computer any more viruses from LimeWire or anything, right?
Oh God. Yeah, right? Jeez.
What's next in yours?
So, speaking of Disney Channel stars, you might know this song from the Lizzie McGuire movie, The Supermodel by RuPaul.
How does it go?
So it's like, you're not gonna make me sing. It's like, dun, 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 on the runway, supermodel on. I
Kind
don't
of.
know.
I
But it was like when she was, she
when they
was
were
going
like
to be,
showing her what she needed to
and she was trying
do.
all the stuff. Yeah, they thought she was Isabella, and so she was Isabella, right? Isabella?
Uh-huh, Isabella.
And she was trying on all the fancy clothes
Uh-huh.
and the wigs and all that kind of stuff and doing all the things. And they were playing that song
All right,
when that was
let me
going
check
on.
this real quick.
Yeah, pull it up. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to hear the actual like the music part because a lot of times
Hmm.
I may not know the lyrics, but the music
Right.
I
The actual
recognize.
beat. Hmm.
Yeah. So that was a 92 song?
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't,
That's
yeah. Well, I'm not sure if the version in the Lizzie McGuire movie, I think it might be somebody else singing that on the movie. I could be wrong, but I think it was somebody different. But yeah, I mean, I think that song basically just launched his career, which, he's
yeah.
still doing stuff today,
Oh yeah.
and he's not really a singer, but they came up with this idea, and yeah, I mean, it was pretty big hit.
Absolutely. That for sure is. I try to remember who, because I used to have the Lizzie McGuire soundtrack, and that was on there.
Oh
And
yeah, me too.
so I
Yeah.
don't remember who, if it was RuPaul or if somebody had done another one. But
Right. Yeah,
hey,
I can't picture the version of it I can't picture that of like what the movie was.
yeah.
And I mean, apparently the like writer producer of this song went on to do like other really good stuff, like writing songs for like Ryan Cabrera,
Oh,
Kelly Clarkson, Pink. So it's kind of cool that people that work on some of these songs and that go helps them go in other directions that kind of almost launch their careers again.
Absolutely. That's great. I love hearing that. And it's always fun to figure out who's either written or produced something and then
Mm-hmm.
see what else they do.
Yeah, because I always like doing that, seeing who has written or produced like certain songs, and then I'll go back and see what else they have done. And it's kind of cool because a lot of times there's a trend because it's all the songs that listen to. So I can almost kind of tell what style of song something is and who's kind of behind it because you can almost kind of get that vibe from some songs, where you know the same people have worked on them.
Yeah, for sure. I like finding when somebody's written for somebody else, but then later on, the writer gets to have their moment in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
I got another good one for you.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how you'll do this, but all right. I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt.
Oh my God. April, we talked about that for 91,
We
but it
did?
was still a pretty big hit for
Yeah.
92. We
Well,
we only touched on it like super briefly. I just kind of mentioned it and then
yeah,
in
because
a
it was
comment
released in
and
91, but it was in the. See, this is what happens when I'm going into a million places right now and everything. Because listen, Ashley, that song was so fucking big. It was still 13 by the end of 1992 on the top
well, that's
100.
the thing. I felt like a lot of the 92 songs were still ones coming from 91. It's like there weren't really any true 92 songs released that were big hits in 92. Maybe we'll see them more in 93, I don't know, but it was
Yeah,
weird. It was still a lot of those early 90, 91 songs that were being
mhm.
carried over into the top billboards.
Yeah, it's which I don't know if maybe it was part of like some of the current events going on in 91 and like the early like yeah 90 91 that maybe kept that
Hmm.
from them being too many. Yeah, like one of these other ones that I was gonna say is pretty an intense one. Technically was like at the very end of 1991. Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton. Have you ever listened to that song?
So the
Or Tears in Heaven?
is that the original or is that his version of it? That's an older song, right?
Yes, it was 1991 and it appeared on the Rush film soundtrack. Rush was a 1991 movie, I guess.
But the song's not, but his version isn't just like a version. It's the
It
original came out in
E-
91.
Yeah, so it's by Eric Clapton and Will Jennings. And it was, do you know the story behind it, don't you?
Just remind me.
It was written for Eric Clapton's 4-year-old son who had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Sad.
Okay.
Still makes me cry.
That
That's what I was
so that
saying.
makes sense why that kind of makes sense of why I remember that song a lot. For some reason it was played in school a lot
School?
and I don't I don't ask me why, but I just remember hearing that song.
What kind of school were you going to?
I don't know if we were doing a chorus, if it was like a recorder class. I don't know, but that's what I remember.
Wow. Wow. In school of all places. I think we need like a whole nother episode just for that kind of crazy shit.
Oh my God.
I was about to cough and had my mic on mute so you would like overtake you and I had to unmute myself and hold in my cough.
I don't know. I haven't listened to it since probably the 90s, but I need to re-listen to it to see if it tells me where I remember it from.
It's a sad one. It's a sad one for sure. Because I was just looking at the list and everything. That is, what was that? That was number 6 for the top 100.
Mm. Hmm.
I mean, for that one, we could definitely give it a little bit of a break because according to everything, it's saying that the soundtrack didn't come out until 92, but the movie was
Mm.
released in 91.
Hmm.
And so, but because that's kind of how things happen in the 90s. Movies would be released, and then like a month or two later, the soundtracks would get released.
Right. Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like now where soundtracks are usually released like the Tuesday or something before a movie is. Different mixing ways
What
that
was that
they've done.
movie Rush about?
I don't know. That's a really good question. It's probably a really sad
To have
movie.
that song in it.
Yeah, it's probably a really sad movie that
Oh God, it's not going to be on our list of watches.
no, it is not.
I'm not crying. Not crying.
Let's see here real quick. Oh boy, we were wrong on that shit.
What?
Okay, this must have like somebody die at the end or something. Because, so on IMDb, it's got a single sentence like synopsis. Two small town Texas cops go undercover to catch a major drug dealer and are sucked into a drug culture compromising their assignment.
What the fuck?
Where the hell did they get a song? What?
Okay, honestly, now I kind of want to watch that movie and find out where that's played at in that
I'm
movie.
I'm sure. So what? Probably since it's
Can we put it on
two.
our list? Let's put it on our list.
Let's put it on our list. It was 91, but we're gonna do a couple episodes probably of like noteworthy movies or
Ooh, there you
something.
go.
That's one. Or movies that we didn't watch that we wish we kind of did. I mean, like, just looking at the freaking preview of this is so my guess is that one of those Texas cops or somebody close to them gets killed or something like that.
Hmm.
I have no idea. If anybody's seen the movie Rush, don't ruin it for us. We are gonna watch it eventually.
So is that the music video that you were saying maybe for me to watch?
That one or the number one song of 1992.
What's the number one song?
One of my favorites, one of my favorite artists. We've talked about him every year so far.
Oh, God. No, we can't keep doing this.
It's not my fault that they keep releasing good stuff. They did take like a break in the mid 90s, so we probably won't have anything from them.
Mm.
Boys to Men, End of the Road. Have you ever heard that song?
Yes, because I can hear I feel like I heard it recently, honestly, and I don't know if I saw it in something I was watching or what, but yes.
Great song. Love the melody. Love the vocalization. Boys to Men. I mean, come on. Come on. Really?
I mean, that's pretty impressive that 3 years in a row they've had top songs.
Yeah. And hey, I hope they go back out on tour sometime soon because I would love to see them again for sure.
Oh, well, that's all the songs I have. You took most of mine,
Oh, I'm
so.
sorry. Let's see if there's any good noteworthy songs on here. Let's see.
You had like Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
Mariah Carey.
TLC had a few hits that were in the top 100.
I don't know that their first album was a huge hit, though.
Yeah. Oh, was that song from night? No, that just had like a freaking respan of freaking Bohemian
Oh,
Rhapsody is still on the top
I
100.
think they did a re-release of that. That's
I
why.
think so. Sound like you had something. What came to you?
Oh, yes. So here's my question to you for the 90s noise edition of this or that. Beauty and the Beast soundtrack or Aladdin soundtrack?
Ah, me. So, shit, girl. I'm trying to think of like more than just the two, like the three songs from Aladdin that I can think of. Whole New World, the when he's like running away from the guards,
Mm-hmm.
and then his Prince Ali song or the all right. So now that I'm talking about because I haven't seen it in so long, I'm sorry, I remember some of the others. But then there's Beauty and the Beast. I mean, we've got that one. You're gonna probably hate me for saying this, but I'm probably gonna have to go with Aladdin soundtrack.
Ooh, interesting choice. Okay.
Because I'll also be honest with you here. Beauty and the Beast was not a top movie for me. I enjoyed it, and I did watch it a decent amount.
Mm-hmm.
But when I had options of like it or like The Lion King, for example, I always went more towards like the ones that had more heavy animals.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you could kind of say the beast is an animal, but like he's not a fluffy like cat or dog.
Right.
So that's where I kind of was like, eh. It did scare me a couple, like when I was younger, Beauty and the Beast for a little while until I grew
Mm-hmm.
up to understand that. But probably, yeah, probably the Aladdin soundtrack. I'm sure you're gonna say Beauty and the Beast, right?
Well, I was only going in that direction because I have only recently re-listened to Beauty and the Beast. Like, obviously, Aladdin is 92, so I know we'll be talking about it. I haven't really seen that original version in so long, and I haven't really listened to the songs. So they're not fresh in my memory as to be able to say that I really preferred one over the other. But Beauty and the Beast, I just kind of where I am at right now.
We'll talk a little bit more about this when we get to Aladdin, but
hmm
I loved Princess Jasmine. Loved
Oh
her.
yeah, absolutely.
And
hmm
so I was a little more partial to her. Again, she had the freaking tiger as a
Oh, I
pet.
love that.
So of course, that's where I'm gonna lead towards. Yeah, it's been a while since I watched that one too, so it'll be good to kind of go back into it. So, you ready for your question?
Ooh.
Let's see here. Oh, this actually is a really good one for no. This is music related. Okay. And this is a nice little game that Ashley got me for Christmas. It says it's called the Hella 90s Pop Culture Trivia Game. We're doing a little something different for season 2 as we're winding down the episode. We're going to do this and that's, and then we're also going to do one or two questions that I ask Ashley because the game's here with me. So poor Ashley gets to be the guinea pig right now until we have a chance
Ooh.
to play together, hopefully soon.
Yes.
So, all right, I'm gonna read off 3 like lines that kind of explain, and you have to guess what I'm explaining. Okay?
Okay.
I was a free file sharing software that allowed users to share music and movies. I was in a bitter legal battle with record companies and Metallica. I was eventually shut down because of copyright infringement issues. What am I? Do do do
I was
do
gonna go
do
with
do.
I was gonna go with LimeWire, but
Nope. Think before LimeWire.
oh. Read the first question again, or
Huh?
the first.
The
Read the
first
first one.
I was a free file sharing software that allowed users to share music and movies.
Oh, I don't know.
You give up?
Yeah.
Napster.
I was trying to think. I knew it started with like an N. I was trying to think. Oh, dang.
I think this is going to be a fun game to play.
Yeah.
Because
And you're gonna find out how horrible I am at answering questions.
we'll eventually figure out a way of like turning the tables, don't worry.
Oh, we will. We will.
But just so you know, Ashley, all of these cards are double-sided, so we got plenty of content for it.
Oh, dang. Oh, shit.
All right, you got anything else for?
No, that's kind of all the 92 brought me. I mean, it was starting to get into more songs that I felt were bigger in my life, but still not that many. Like, it's not like I'm struggling to pick like a top 5 type thing, you know? There's like only 5.
Yeah,
Like
I hear
only
you.
5. So it's not hard. So, but
Or we get my dumbass who's like finding the songs that were previous years that just kept up on the charts. Actually, though, Jump Around was truly a 92 song. Thank you very much.
ooh, jump around. Jump, jump.
All right.
That's all I got to say about music.
Same here. I do like that. It gives us like a little break from watching.
I'm just ready for my pop music to make
Its
an
entrance.
appearance on the playlist.
Yeah.